Hello, welcome for this video on the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, a teaching on spiritual awakening. Today we will see another verse of that wonderful text, the verse 115, 100, and yes, 115, that's it, 115. A verse that is teaching, pointing out an experience a little bit strange looking, out of context, but in fact, as others in that collection, very simple and full of sense. So first in Sanskrit, kūpādike mahāgarte sthitvopari nirīkṣaṇāt avikalpamateḥ samyak sadyas cittalayaḥ sphuṭam. Sthitva, being standing, upari, above, kūpādike, a well, or something like that, added. Mahāgarte, or a great hole in the ground, anything looking like that. Nirīkṣaṇāt, standing with open eyes and blinking, like you see a big hole or even a big, how do you say, a big empty space, even through a window or whatever, and your gaze is caught, as it were, is caught by that huge emptiness and the sensation, the feeling of dizziness that ensues. You feel dizzy, frightened, and at the same time you feel somehow caught by what you see, almost attracted, hypnotized. And then avikalpamateḥ, because you're in a state of no more thinking, here I would translate like that, because you're in a state of no more thinking, there happens cittalayaḥ, a disappearing of fragmented attention, of the moving mind, of the default mode mind, of inner chatter, a disappearing that happens all at once, sadyas, and samyak, truly, not only superficial or an illusion of disappearance, but a true disappearance, and sphuṭam, clearly, that is, it's direct. You don't need to think that it has disappeared, of course, but it's like the experience of fainting. You know, when you've been for some time squatting on the ground and suddenly you get up, you have that feeling of dizziness, of almost fainting, and the mind, the usual chatter, is completely off, at least for some time. So here's the same sensation, the same feeling. You put yourself above a well, and there is that kind of stopping of all sorts because of the dizziness. The commentary does not add anything else. It just said that staying in the well, because in Sanskrit there is an ambiguity. It says in the well. It means not inside the well, but above it, like bending over to have your gaze fully engaged on the hole. And that's it. So, you know that strange feeling you have when you approach a place where you have that feeling of dizziness. It can be a boat, it can be a train, It can be even the window of a plane. It can be a tunnel. It doesn't need to be vertical. It can be horizontal as well. When you're driving a car on a highway, on a long straight road, you have that same feeling of the openness of what you see that opens by force your attention, your gaze, which is usually quite contracted, focused on something. And here it's opened by force because of the configuration of what you see. And it works also if you have that feeling without seeing, when you're in a lift or when you're in something which is moving, even inside a truck, inside a train again, inside a plane, inside a boat. And you can have that feeling when you're in a building, looking at the stairs, going down. And even you can you can do that, produce that feeling artificially if you build a kind of tunnel with where you just take a tube made of whatever material, and you look in it and you have that very same feeling. You have that very same feeling. You can have that feeling as well when you're looking at some valley in a street with the buildings on a bridge. So here again, the important point is to catch the principle of that experience and not to remain stuck with this and that example, which are necessarily limited to the culture, the cultural environment of India. So here they give as a main example the well. And the well in India is not just a small hole, deep hole like you have usually in Europe, but it's something quite large, like 8-10 meters wide. Directly on the ground, there are no walls usually, and it's quite deep, but not so deep. Often it's like 5-6 meters deep, not more than that. And in India, you have also the sacred wells, like you have in the holy city of Varanasi, which sometimes are quite steep, with stairs going down, and you have that feeling of a hole, and you have that view which is catching both your sight and your whole bodily feeling. So you have that same dizziness, and when you have that dizziness, you can catch that occasion to enter into the silent state, the inner silence state. So that's all for today. Another practice, simple, and that anyone can experiment for him or herself. And just let me thank you for your attention and see you next time.